Hello and welcome to the Handicapable Black Woman Throne Room. My view of humanity is a whole new tea. Hello, my beautifuls, my lovelies, my royalties. Oh my gosh. Okay, I started the whole random thoughts thing because there's so many times where I just hate men. I mean, I hate bigots and racists, and yes, I'm not supposed to hate because I'm a Christian girl, but screw that, skip that. Look where, like, the poorly educated, the MAGA Republicans got us, and look how much racism and just the, like, but then a bunch of the people from the church, a lot of the people who are supposed to be about love, but then when they get a pop quiz last year about feeding a hungry baby, oh, they don't want to do that. Oh, they'll tell you somewhere else to go, but then they don't pay taxes and then they demand more, like tithes and offering. Like there's been times where the mega church I grew up in, three times they want us to put money in a bucket, but they don't tell you. First they'll tell you, oh yeah, okay, tithes and offering time. And then all of a sudden, oh yeah, I was like, okay, we have a special guest, or oh, we're raising money for a plane or something. And you're like, okay, here's a couple more dollars. And then, oh, okay, yeah, we're gonna do a third one. Hold up, what? No. And it's like, see, this needs to be coming from God. If you want the temple, like, yeah, trust me. And this is why when I read yesteryear, and I don't know, it's just every time I even look at that book I think about my ex, because he gave me that present like 3 weeks before I and yeah, I'm working on a poem right now called Fighting Emotions, like with love and hate and everything like that, because oh, I have a little hate, right? I do. Because do you know how many times this man, he would call other people dumb, but then some of the actions and some of the things he did were so selfish. I mean, and the thing is, he's one of the most selfless men I've ever met. But at the same time, there were some times where it's just like, do you know how selfish you're being? And even like with the start of our relationship, we should have never dated. We should have always just like, and see, we would still be close and amazing friends right now if he had listened to me. And so many men, they don't listen, like either because I'm black, female, or my disability, or a lot of men because I walk differently before I got diagnosed. Men would be like, "Oh no, baby, like just listen to me," or "Oh, be a lady," and then a lot of the men from the church, "Oh, yeah, be a good Christian girl." Oh, just never again, never again. But that's one of the reasons I will never, ever forgive him, because I told him from the start. I told him, but he was the one who was like, no, I'm not going to stay on dating apps. I found you, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so yeah, go back to those episodes or whatever. Go back to those episodes. And people are going to be like, are you going to keep talking about Mr. Spider? I'm going to try not to, but it's crazy because this has happened to other people. Whenever someone becomes single, men from their past all of a sudden start texting and calling. Like tonight, tonight alone, two different ones, two different guys from my past. And I'm just like, is something different with my Facebook? Like, it's like, okay, like the Batman signal. Did either of them see? Like, I have I'm a single woman signal out there. Like, what? What's going on? What's happening? Because 4 days after the breakup was the first guy. And then the second guy, because he had two more tonight, so now there's four. And then another guy was literally, I think it was like 7 or 8 days after. And part of me, I'm just like, what the crap? And it's funny because almost all of them are divorced. And two of them didn't want to date me because I was getting my master's, my first master's. I didn't talk to one of them like for oh yeah, for so like, cause yeah, one of them, he didn't have my phone number, so then he went and asked one of the promotional models that we both know, and then that stupid idiot gave him my phone number without asking or giving me a heads up. So then I had to write him on Facebook and tell him that if he ever does anything like that again, but then I said never mind and I just blocked his butt because I'm like, you have no authority to do that. How like you just don't give someone my phone number? Like you ask me first, especially if you know that I didn't talk to this person for years, especially after you know what this person tried to do. Like, yeah. But yeah, there's guy number four right now. And it's just really because I've like last year, I think I had like around 6 to 8 men from my past write me, but it was throughout the year. And some of them tried more than once, and some of them were like, but you're an amazing woman, and I just don't know if I can handle you, and I don't know. And yeah, well, two out of the four with since the breakup or whatever, they couldn't stand my family. They really a lot of my friends and all, yeah, they can't stand my, and I can't like my relationship has gotten a lot better with my dad. But yeah, with my parents, majority of my life they called me a liar because doctors told them I was lying because of how I walk and stuff like that. But I'm gonna give you an example with the second guy that contacted me since the breakup. Because yeah, it's the perfect story, and it'll even show how my perfect sister, because yeah, my perfect sister is just like my mother. So but okay, imagine because like, oh, another reason why a lot of men is like they don't like that I write children's books, they don't like that I volunteer, they don't like that I want to start my own businesses and that I have like 3 degrees and things like that. Like a lot of them said that I was trying too much and I was trying to be like, one of them used to call me Mother Teresa. I think that was guy number 1 minute. That was guy number 3, I think. Yeah. Sorry, it's like sometimes I have to be like, okay, which one? Like, let me picture. Yeah, okay. So yeah, he used to call me Miss Mother Teresa because I would do promotional modeling and then substitute teaching and then go volunteer, and then just like, and I was trying to look up how can I start volunteering at the hospitals and things, and like he was just like, you shouldn't be doing all this. This is stupid. Blah 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 whatever. But then his uncle's a pastor. So I don't know. It's just so funny. All of the men who try to date me, who either their fathers are pastors, they are pastors, or somebody in their immediate or pretty immediate family is a pastor. But then they were like, they themselves were some of the worst people I've ever met in my life. They were some of the most selfish, conniving, awful, terrible, despicable men, sexist, and like yeah, patriarchy and everything. So, but anyway, with guy number, oh no, yeah. So, with guy number 2, I was volunteering, and oh, this is how I met the guy, because his sister was volunteering and he picked her up, and he kept asking his sister about me, and so she asked for my number and then asked if she could give it to her brother or whatever. But I remember one time we were running behind and stuff with some of the, like, okay, I'm not going to give away which nonprofit it was, but we were getting behind it. But so then the sister was asking him, can you help out and, help clear up stuff or whatever? And he didn't want to, but, she did the Kim Possible, the puppy face and stuff like that. Oh, those were like some of my favorite scenes in Kim Possible. And you know what? I think I'm going to watch the whole series all over again. That is still like my favorite Disney series. Okay, but anyway, so we were cleaning up, clearing up, and everything like that. And he was nearby me, but then I was getting a phone call. I answer, I see that it's my mom, and I'm kind of nervous because, yeah. And I know a lot of people aren't going to believe all the stories when I talk about my mom, but sadly, they're true. Yeah, I've been through a lot of trauma. But anyway, I pick up the phone and like my mom's like, "Where are you at? When are you coming home? What are you?" And I'm just like, "Oh, I'm volunteering. Is that's my schedule for well, I'll just say Wednesday. I don't know like yeah, I don't well, yeah, if you don't know what I'm doing, then you don't know which one to look up for the anyways, okay, I'll just say Wednesday. And my mom was like, I doubt you're volunteering. I bet you're just being a garden host somewhere. And the guy is like, he kind of hears and he's like, I remember he looked over and I'm so embarrassed, like, because I was trying to lower the volume, but I couldn't do it quickly enough because I didn't think my mom was going to go there, especially. I'm like, why would you think that? And like my schedule, like every Wednesday, like or two times a week, I volunteer at this place. Like, and it's not too far from the house, so I invited her over a couple times to come check out like all the stuff that goes on with the program, so that she could see like why I loved it so much. But yeah, his head turned, and I'm so embarrassed. And I just remember I was shaking because I'm just like, great, because you know what? Who else was right there? One of the instructors. And you know what? It's like, yeah, I did say like she knew my schedule and stuff like that, but I was so embarrassed. I think I skipped a session or two because I was so embarrassed, and I, I didn't want to be too close to her alone because I didn't want to talk about it or bring it up. But I remember the next time, or like I only missed one or two, but when I came back, I remember she saw me and I was like, oh crap. So I'm trying to just stay away from her. And she was a sneaky girl. Like, because she normally has these shoes where I can hear her. This woman took them off. See, this is why sometimes we can't trust some of you white women. But anyway, yeah, she's white. Anyway. Yeah, because yeah, her slick butt. Because yeah, she took them off because she knew I heard her, and so she took them off so that she can come from behind. And she laid her hand on my hand, and she was just like, "Is everything okay at home?" And I remember I was about to burst out, and she didn't expect that. And she was like, "No, no, 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 no." I was like, "I'm sorry, sorry, okay." And so she said we can talk afterwards or whatever. But I remember when I saw my colleague's brother after he came up and asked, is everything okay? It was like, you like or because he saw me talking to the instructor, and he saw my eyes are puffy and red or whatever from tears. And I think he asked me to for coffee or smoothie, like somehow we had coffee, smoothies, or boba. It's like I ended up having all three, like because we hung out a few times. But yeah, that's and so, like, sometimes when people ask me, why aren't you married? Why aren't you with somebody? Quite a few of the guys I've met who have met my parents didn't want anything to do with that, including number four, the person who just texted me about 10 minutes ago. Yeah, yeah. But I'm happy to hear that he might be having this amazing contract deal, which means he might be like, it's kind of sad that he might be moving, but at the same time, I'm like, hey, leaving out of Michigan, especially the locations he told me, I'm like, boy, you better go. Yeah, it's like, you better go, especially that amount. That amount? Because, yeah, it's like, I'm a sapiosexual and I have friends who is like, we're all goal oriented and we take like, and I'm not going to say like, I have some of my closest friends, I have high school diplomas or GEDs and stuff like that. I love and adore too. But it's like, especially a lot of the guys who I might have would have dated, but either it was my family or my very conservative upbringing or mm, my mother, or sometimes it, like, especially with my education, a lot of men hated my education and me writing. Yeah. And part of me is like, why is being an author that bad? Or why do men like, it's like, oh, and 3 out of the 4 of the men are black. So see, I did try. I did try. But it's really crazy because many of the black men, they're just like, see, why didn't I marry you? Um, because you told me that getting my master's was a waste of time, and that if you wanted a mixed girl wannabe, you would have just went with a white woman. Yeah. And then, yeah, because, oh my God, like, a lot of men, they forget. Women, we remember almost everything. We remember almost everything. So when I told him that, it was quiet, silence. And he was like, you remember that? Of course I do. But yeah, back to the guy with the volunteering and stuff like that. I like, there were a few times where it's like, if I was out or whatever, and I'm trying to text my mom telling her I was safe or whatever, and but then my mom would call me, and just the tone when I would hang up, he was just like, why does she talk to you like that? Well, you kind of get used to it, but at least you just know that I normally, this is why I just text her. When she calls me, I try not to pick up. There's a lot of times where I end up getting yelled at because I don't pick up because I hate the tone of her voice with how she speaks to me. She doesn't talk to everybody like this, just me. And I didn't really realize the trauma that the tone of her voice had on me until after my surgery. It was like she passed away about a year before my surgery. And there was a recording. I had this phone until three 3 or 4 years. But after she passed away, I still had this my cell phone where the only time I heard her not have that tone was on my birthday, and she would sing happy birthday to me. And I kept that voicemail for 4 years because that was the only time I heard her sound happy to me. Because if you have been listening, you already know what happened when I told her that I got into grad school. Her response was, why in the hell did you do that for? You don't think you're actually going to finish. You don't think you're going to make it, do you? Huh, you actually think you're smart enough for that? Well, you're not. Oh, why in the hell did you do that for? That was a summary. Because no, it was about 20 to 30 minutes of that. And me, because when I did start crying, what are you crying for? God wants me to tell you that, see, and a lot of people, they laugh when I say I've been through church trauma. God wants me to tell you this. It's like God wants me to be honest and tell you this, because you're not going to be able to finish. You're not smart enough for that. You're trying to see if you can measure up to your perfect sister. She would say my sister's name though. And it's like, you're never going to do that, right? You're never going to do that, right? And then I'd have to answer while I'm crying. Stop crying and answer my question. Yeah, that's what and so yeah, over the years, it's like, especially dating, and even like my perfect sister acts a lot like, yeah, let's just say something kind of traumatizing happened. a few weeks ago, but I'm so used to it. To me, it's just like another day because I'm grown, and I've been through it since I was a baby, since I was a child, like a child, a baby, and everyone was telling, like all the doctors and teachers were telling my mom I was a liar. I'm used to the trauma. I'm used to the tone. I'm used to being yelled at. So, and sadly enough, I remember like when my older sister came to visit one day, and I forgot what happened, but my older sister came in my room and she was just like, "Are you trying to tell me all this stuff happened? Blah 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 blah, and you you're okay, you're okay." And I was like, "Yeah." She could hardly finish either because you're like, "You're okay, you okay with this? No, you need to get out of here. You need to blah 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 blah." And I was working on an essay for class, and I told her, I was like, "If I'm gonna finish this, I can't be crying. I can't be in tears. I can't. No." I was like, "I am finishing this class. I am finishing my master's." And she was like, "How are you not emotional?" And she was like, "This just shows how much you've been through. This shows how much pain you've been. It's like you're able to just shake it off, wipe it off, and keep going." And I think that's one reason why about 3 Sundays ago, something really horrific happened. But I was laughing. I called my ex, and because since he was my boyfriend, I thought I could tell him because I'm so used to it, and at the same time, it's like everyone used to call me a liar. I'm tired of that. No, I'm telling the whole truth and nothing but the truth, babies. And I don't know. Sometimes, like I know with other guys, it scared them off, but then I, since we had similar types of upbringings with our moms and stuff, I thought, you know, and I know that's not that couldn't be the reason or whatever, but I don't know. It's just kind of crazy how that situation happened. And then he said he was thinking about it for 2 weeks, and literally, I think that happened 2 weeks. And then after the breakup, like the different guys who would talk to me, they reminded me, like some of them wanted to date me or marry me or whatever, but they didn't because they couldn't stand my mother, or they couldn't, like they were too scared to meet my father. But yeah, it's like some of them, they could not stand my mother. Mm-mm, no. Oh, and the poor white boy, that poor white boy. Yeah, because one out of the four was white, and oh my gosh, I'll probably save that one for a different episode. But his story was kind of funny of what happened. But anyway, with the volunteer brother, it's like we ended up conversating and talking and getting to know each other. But I remember like I was working on my master. Like, yeah, a lot of the story is going to be included with masters because I got my bachelor's, but my mom did not want me to date. But then she was like, "Oh crap, well, I guess I'm going to have to let them date, and they're adults now, whatever." And she was like, "And I want them to get one of the young boys from the church before they're all taken up or whatever." And so that's when George came around, the church boy. I talk about him like months ago. I think 6 months ago, whatever. But he's happily married now, and I'm so like, oh, it was such a blessing. Yeah, my mom was pissed. Oh yeah, she slapped me too. But yeah, I was like, she didn't even. It's like she thought I was gonna be jealous and upset. I was like, yes, do the celebration dance. He is married, cause yeah, go check those episodes out. But so she was like, yeah, I'm gonna have to let them date or whatever, whatever. And so, but then after college or whatever, yeah, I didn't end up with a church boy or a college guy. So my mom's like, oh well, okay, whatever. And so, but then a lot of the guys that were attracted to me didn't want a smart woman at all, or they saw me like I think they were attracted to me because I'm very bubbly and chippy and just and some think bubbly means dumb or bubbly means not educated. So then when I was applying for grad school, whatever, they didn't pay me any attention because they didn't think I was going to get accepted. But then when I did, they're just like, oh, then I don't want you. And so with the guy, the volunteer guy or whatever, he was like, oh, well, if you go to grad school, if you do that, you're not going to be able to spend enough time with me. Because, yeah, this was about actually, yeah, when I met him, oh, I think it was the same week I was just about to start grad school because the other guy, I just got accepted, but I had to wait, I think two weeks to a month before the class started. And so then I was volunteering, and I think, yeah, literally, like, I think I started the week that I met him. And so he didn't like that sometimes I was like, oh, I gotta work on my paper or I gotta work on an assignment. And he was just saying, as a woman, you don't have to do this, right? And then, yeah, he was from the church. So, yeah, I was trying to be the good Christian daughter. Screw that. I'm a gray sheep. Yeah, I was trying to get a good Christian man. You skip that. Because so many of the Christian men wanted me to be dumb. A lot of them just wanted me to just be a good girl and cook for them. Ugh. But at the end of the day, yeah, he got tired of that. And he said that we could be friends, but no, he just wanted to be friends with benefits. And then when I said no, because I'm like, even though most people don't see any value in me, I'm not going to devalue myself just because no one else wants me. He didn't like that. And then there was one of the other guys who I oh I I want to say my mom went to one of the promos because yeah she always went with promotional modeling she always wanted the addresses of where I was working. And a couple of the times I ended like in 1 year or in 1 month because during the summer I was working I think a bank promo, but it was not too far from the house whatever. And that's how like I like he was one of my coworkers, which is why one of the other promotional models gave him my number when he asked for it. Yeah, but he shouldn't have, and that's why I blocked him. But I remember my mom came up and she looked this guy up and down. And then even when I got home, my mom asking, "Am I sleeping with him?" And I'm just like, "No, we're coworkers. You saw us working together." And she was just like, mm-hmm. She was like, that tall. And because, like, yeah, he's a promotional model, tall, muscular, very handsome man. But yeah, the way she looked him up and down, it was kind of funny. It was kind of funny. Mm hmm. Mm hmm. So, I don't know. It's like, I've been through enough trauma, and no, actually, I've been through too much trauma. But part of me, I kind of wish I said yes when my mom said, "Am I sleeping with him?" Okay, oh, she would have knocked the out of me. She would have slapped the. Oh, it's like, but there's quite a few times I wish I was brave enough too, but I was scared because I never measured up to my perfect sister in any way, shape, or form. And with my dating life, a hot mess. And that's why I retire from it. It's like part of me feels like my last date, Mr. Spider, is an amazing way to just end it. Yeah. Thank you so much for listening to the Handicapable Black Woman Throne Room. I am a woman, I am of color, and I am handicapable. But most importantly, I am human and you're human too.